Hello, everyone out there in Introvert's Corner. Let me just change this cover page so that you can see me. Hello, and here I am back in my office as I've promised to do for some time. Oh, it looks like the bookcase is curved. Don't like that particularly. I think I might have to look at a different camera because I don't like that. So how interesting. Anyway, enough of that. It doesn't need to worry about that, does it? Hello. See a couple of people watching already. So hopefully Carol's managed to find us, because I know Carol was frustrated last time that she couldn't actually join the live. So hopefully Carol is here with us. If you've given StreamYard permission, if you make a comment, then I'll see your name. If not, it'll just say Facebook user. So do let me know you're here and that you can hear me okay. Good morning from Minnesota. I guess that's Carrie, because Carrie's normally from Minnesota, but it's saying Facebook user, so obviously it's lost. If it is Carrie, then it's lost your StreamYard permission. It's not so beautiful here. It's not sunny. Well, it's trying to be sunny, but it's not actually been great weather. We've had lots of rain again, which, bearing in mind for June, is pretty grim. Good morning, Jenny. Nice to see you here. So yeah, it's summer solstice yesterday. Grim old day. So not exactly what we wanted, but I can see a few people here have joined me. Lovely to see you. So what am I going to talk about today? I'm a little bit distracted. I have to fess up, because my latest grandson has just arrived. Literally 9:59 this morning he arrived, and he's a big fella, so really looking forward to meeting him in the near future. That's my fourth step grandchild. So I've got eldest is 22 and youngest born today. So there's a lovely spread, isn't it? Oh, thanks, Jen. Yes, it's very exciting. So I'm a bit distracted. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit distracted, as you can imagine. But I wanted to drop in and say where I haven't been lurking this week, and perhaps where I have been lurking, because I have been lurking a little bit, and not so loud. But so, oh, my watch is bashing the desk. First things first, I've had a few days away. I went to one of my favourite spas. It's local to me. I'm so lucky. It's only about 3.5 miles away. And thank you for the congratulations coming in. I had a couple of days away with a really good friend and mentor of mine, Linda Holt, and that was absolutely wonderful. Bless her, she'd travelled for like 4.5 hours to get there, and I'd taken 10 minutes, if that, to get there. But it was wonderful, because it's the place I go to quite regularly when I need to recharge my batteries, but I've never stayed there. And of course, having a friend there meant I could stay there. Now, is Carol with us? Because I've just seen a message come in from her to say, let me just see. Oh, okay, so I'm just going to, send a message to say, look for the other post. If I was really good, I could do this as well as talk to you, but I can't do both things. So I had a couple of days away, and this spa that I go to, the Green Farm Spa down in Kent, is absolutely gorgeous. It's in the middle of the countryside. It's got lots of woodland around it, part of which is the fairy woodland that we go to, that is actually dark sky as well. So they have things there like singing with nightingales. They host inner city kids there every year who come and camp out in the woods and kind of sing around the campfire and do all that stuff. And it's just wonderful. They grow all their own food. They rear their own animals. And it's just the most wholesome, I think is the right word, the most wholesome. Oh, Carol's here. Fantastic. You've joined us. Brilliant. the most wholesome place I can go. So I was so lucky to spend time there. So we had 2 lovely suppers with them with kind of hand-reared food and homegrown food. Had a day of wonderful treatments on the Friday, and a lovely kind of supper, and then breakfast on the Saturday morning. And then Linda and I took ourselves down to the beach on Saturday and had a long stroll along the sandy beach at St Mary's Bay down in Kent. So I had a really wonderful downtime, which, goodness, I hadn't realised quite how much I needed it, because things have been pretty full on. So what had been going on before then? Well, I'd interviewed 2 podcast guests, one who's going to be coming up this week, and it's Sophie Morris who's going to be my guest this week. And Sophie works with introverted teens specifically, and is such a gentle soul. I think you're going to love that interview with Sophie. And then later in the week, I interviewed somebody who's coming on to talk about storytelling, and her voice and the way she talks about story is just beautiful. And I'm really looking forward to doing, Mary Alice Arthur is her name. I'm really looking forward to doing some more work with her. I'm working with her in another group, but I'm so looking forward to developing my own story, actually in line with Mary Alice Arthur. So that won't come out for a few weeks yet, but look out for it. I'll certainly be posting about it beforehand, because she also has a book called 365 Alive, which is 365 prompts, writing prompts to get you thinking about writing your own story, and kind of writing how it's been and then creating the future story, which I'm really excited about. I've been a guest on a few podcasts myself, and one was released, which was the one for the training journal. And I've got an article to write this week, and there's been quite a lot of good exposure. So the one I'm really pleased about came out, I don't know if I told you about it last week, but it came out in Diversity and Inclusion Leader. And that's brilliant, because it's getting the message right in front of people who need to hear about it. So there's some really good stuff going on. So I have a question for you, I suppose, which is that on my website, until recently, I had a page that said, on the Flourishing Introverts website, I had a page that said media or something like that, which was links to articles. And then we got a bit jumpy in the UK, because somebody was threatening to sue if we were using logos and things. So I kind of just took it down. I obviously didn't delete it, but I made it not visible. But I've had so many good articles and things released recently. So a quick question for you. Do you think it would be a really good idea for me to put that back up with the links to the latest articles and podcasts? Or do you think people are a bit over that now? So I'd be really interested to hear your views about whether people bother to go to a page on a website that says media, and whether they'd bother to go and look. Because to be honest, I'm a bit undecided. Honestly undecided. So I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts on that. If you have any thoughts, strong thoughts one way or t'other, I'd really be interested to hear. The other good news is that I'm going to be announcing the date shortly for the free webinar that I'm putting on to say thank you to all those people who responded to my ambitious introvert questionnaire that I put out. So I'll be advertising the dates for that, and for those of you who contributed, that's brilliant, but I'll also open it up to those who don't. And we're just in the final process of going through and looking at all the data you provided to decide what the topic is. And because there were 2 that were quite close last time I looked, it might be that I kind of do a blend of topics. But it's either going to be, the way it was looking, it's either going to be around how to be heard and kind of in the right way, so without pretending, without shouting, all that sort of stuff. And I can't remember what the second one offhand. So I will be giving you that bit of a heads up to the free webinar that's coming up soon. So what have I got coming up this week? I've got more podcast interviews to appear on. On Friday, I'm really excited. Friday morning, I'm being interviewed by Claire Josser for the Lockdown Leadership Conference. Normally it would have happened in over a shorter period of time, but obviously with challenges and us all being virtual, Claire's doing it over a number of days and weeks. So on Friday it's my turn, and I'm going to be interviewed by Claire Josser for the Lockdown Leadership Conference. If you haven't already heard about it, then I'll make sure I post about it so that you can pop on and find it. I don't know quite what the arrangements are, whether you have to buy tickets or whatever, but as you know, if there's any way I can get you in, I absolutely will. So I'm looking forward to that. And then, joy of joys, I have nothing planned for this weekend. Doesn't mean I won't do anything, but I've got nothing planned, because with the new grandson's arrival, I can imagine there'll be some visitings going on, to the extent that we're allowed anyway. And yeah, it's going to be a lovely time. I just hope the weather bucks up here. So let's just share what people are saying here. Okay, thanks, Jen. Yeah, that's a really good thing. So in terms of whether I bother to put the media page back up, Jen's saying yes. I think Jenny also had a comment. Yeah, okay, good, I'll do that. And okay, yeah, that's a really good point, actually, Carol. Put it up and see how many clicks it gets, see if it gets any interest. So I'll just have to make sure that I've got my measurements in place so that I can check if it's being viewed or not. So, not too much lurking going on. The only place I'm lurking is, that I'm aware of anyway, is in a group that's getting a bit too big for my liking. It's funny, isn't it, how I'm good with groups up to a certain size, but then, and I don't know that it's actually just purely down to size, but it's down to characters within there. And as soon as it goes, the kind of the dominant voice seems to be one that doesn't resonate with me. That's when I then notice that I kind of shrink back into the background. And providing I'm still doing my work in that group and I'm not letting it stop me, then I don't think that's a problem. But isn't it interesting how even at my ripe old age, then my ripe old age, I still notice how those really dominant, really, the only way I can describe it is voices that have the impact on me like nails down a blackboard, like a chalkboard. And it kind of, the voices go right through me and they seem to be incessant. So that's when I find myself lurking. Yes. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I'm glad, Carol, you managed to find us finally, because Carol's been so frustrated that she hadn't actually been able to find us. I think she'd been looking at the general post where I talk about it rather than the StreamYard post. So now you found us, Carol. You'll know where to find us every Tuesday around about this time, just for me to share a little bit about lessons that I'm having from lurking and from non-lurking. And at the moment, non-lurking is winning out, just because I'm getting so much exposure, which means that our cause, so it's not about me, it means our cause is getting so much exposure, for which I'm eternally grateful. Anyway, lovely to see you all and look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. As usual, I'll just put the thank you screen up and put myself on mute because there's a bit of a delay in StreamYard and it means it won't cut me off mid-sentence. So talk to you soon.